Alright, hey, back with part 2 of the video. Today I will be focusing on running the wire on the driver's side through the door, and also I will be focusing on getting the power wire mounted to the battery here and split it back in the rear and put the power to the amps. So hopefully I get all that done, and I could probably start hooking up the head unit and run the wire to that as well, and the remote wire. And I have a subwoofer, like bass level knob I'm going to hook up, but I think that just runs to the amp with the subwoofer. That looks pretty straightforward, and so it's basically everything I'm going to try to do today within like the next 3 or 4 hours. So yeah, stay tuned. Alright, so I cleaned up the battery best I could last time. So I still have the power wire in here under that guy. I didn't really connect the stuff back, so that way it'd be a bit easier to get in here and get it all going. So here's the power wire. I taped off the end just in case. So yeah, I'll probably go ahead and get that off. And I have a connector. Hopefully I can crimp it on with like some pliers or something. I don't know the correct way to do it, but that's the way I'm going to try to do it. Here it is. This one's specifically for 4-gauge wire. I think these are gauge specific. Alright. But we are going to need a few of them. Probably just these two. It's probably all I'm going to need. So first things first, I'm going to start with getting the insulation off of this guy, and I'm going to go ahead and put the and crimp the other piece on there so that way I can hook it up to the battery. I tried it with my wire strippers and they're struggling to cut through, so I'm just going to get a razor blade, get the insulation off, and then I'm going to try crimping it. And also on my wire strippers, with some cheap ones from like O'Reilly's or whatever, they don't even have an option for anything like bigger than 10 gauge. Like it stops at 10 and goes up to like 22. So, but it does have a section that says ignition terminals. So it's like pretty big opening. So I'm going to try crimping it with that. If that doesn't work, then I don't know, we figure something out. Alright, so I got it all stripped with the razor. So now I'm going to try crimping the thing over it and see how that goes. Like a glove. Oh yeah. So I am going to be trying it with the spot that says ignition terminals. I don't even know if that's meant for crimping, but we're going to give it a shot. That did not work. Alright, so that actually did end up working. I think I went too far up the first time. Alright, so next I'll be working on running the wire through the doors on the driver's side. I'm not going to film this unless I find out there's something different with it. Okay, I don't know if any of that got recorded. I ran into an issue. It's a lot easier running the wire into the boot, but I have like this cheap electrical kit that I got from Harbor Freight that has a bunch of these little guys, and that's a little hard to see. On the terminals of the speaker, it came with some connectors that just slide over those and you crimp it onto the wire, but I misplaced the ones that came with the kicker, so I'm using like the ones from Harbor Freight. They should work the same, but only I noticed that the negative side terminal is a bit smaller, so I can't use the smaller terminal piece because I don't know if terminal is the correct word. I can't use that because it takes a smaller gauge wire, but I'm running 14. But I don't want to cut some of the strands of the wire off because it defeats the purpose of running 14. So I'm going to solder a wire to the base of the speaker, and I'm going to put a male end on that for the terminal, and I'm going to put female on the long wire, and I'm going to just connect them in that way, and hopefully that'll work. But I'll figure out something for the future to give me a lot better connection, because I wanted to have like a really good connection. So all right, here we go. So here is the speaker. So that's the one with the red marker on it is the positive side. That's the negative. They are different sizes, so it doesn't fit on there as snug as I want, or at least as snug as the other side fit with the ones that came with the kicker set. So I'm about to solder to the post, like basically right here where that pool of soldering fluid is. I'm just gonna solder to that a wire, and I'm gonna put. So this is the female end I'm talking about. See, that's the female. But I'm going to do blue because blue is the right size. This is the kit I was talking about for Harbor Freight. So irritated. I was making a lot of good progress. Now I gotta slow down and do this. So I gotta do it to all three speakers, or the remaining three speakers, because I can't find those things anywhere. So this is the female end. This is gonna go on the long wire. This is gonna go to the post. I'm gonna put a wire in there after I solder it to the base, and they should just connect pretty easily. Yeah, it's really snug. I gotta force it on there. That should give me a pretty good connection. I don't like using these things, to be honest, but I don't know how professionals usually do it with speakers. Like, I've soldered like other things, but usually I just like going straight solder, but I want this to be able to remove pretty easily. So I'm gonna try to find like some banana plugs or something that gives me a bit better connection. But for now, this will work. This should do the job for now. Okay, this has been really frustrating, and I got it all done now. This is basically what I was saying. Solder the wire onto put this male connector on, put the female, crimp that to the other wire, then we're good. That's just for the negative side. So boom, boom. Did all three within like 20 minutes of this chaos. Like, this has been chaotic. This has been chaotic trying to do this. So the one is already in the door, and it went a lot smoother. So try to get if you're following what I'm doing at all, don't recommend doing it this way. Try to find the correct connectors that are little lime green ones. That's basically the color of this. So try to do that if you can. If not, here's the solution. Like, honestly, this is what I was gonna do initially. I ripped out the original speaker, and then I put in the kicker, and I just glued it all in. It looks pretty ratchet, but trust me, this isn't going anywhere. I was gonna solder the wire from the negative post to the negative post of this, and positive to the positive. Then I was gonna just plug in the original harness. Then I was gonna take place of the original wires in the other part of the harness. But I was like, this is doing the most, so decided to go this route. Just ran into a few issues since I lost a few parts, but we're good. So now we're gonna get on to throwing the speaker in. I can go ahead and connect it, or put the right size terminal. I have most of it done so far for the driver's side. I just gotta put the other side on, the blue one, and now we can just hook it up as we were doing. And I can button up this door, and now I can focus on the fun stuff, because this speakers themselves have been like just stressful, to the point of getting them mounted all the way until getting them wired up and stuff. So just really plan this part out. You can buy the brackets, save yourself some time and money. Or not really money, but save yourself some time and frustration. But I like to go the DIY route, try stuff out. I like to try stuff out. I can definitely clean this up, paint it if I wanted to, but for now this is just a trial run. These speakers are pretty cheap, so if I mess it up I can try again. So yeah, all right, let's get some stuff done today. All right, I really want to show you guys this part. Show you all that frustration I went through just to save a few strands of wire. That's totally not necessary. Probably, and all the professionals, if you actually install this kind of stuff for a living, just please give me some information on it. Let me know if all this was necessary, or if there's a lot better way to do this. I'm just kind of winging this. This is the positive side. I put heat shrink and everything on it. I'm gonna do the same on the other side, and that's how I come to this result. So boom, boom. It's a little hot, but it's okay. Now that's ready to be installed the way I like. So yeah. And remember, I'm no professional, so look this up and see if there's a better way to do this. But you guys will see the end product once we're all done with this, and you'll see if this was a good route, or see if there'll be some changes to the setup. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and get this connected. Guys a better look, show you that I'm not crazy. That actually, this was just thought up on the fly, so either give me respect or bash me, whichever is deserved from this. Button up this driver side. I was like, alright, I wanted to test something out. I was wondering how the wires will actually connect to the amp itself. I thought some people, I just need to twist up the wire, then they poke it in there, and then tighten it down. But I have a better solution. I'm kind of loving the fact that I got this kit. It's coming in handy. Just a few dollars. You can use these guys, these little half moon. It's a little hard to see. use that guy, and it works perfect. I already put it in there. Loosen that screw. It has like a little plate in there. You loosen the screw, it goes to the top, slide that in, screw it down. That's really snug. I could probably hold the whole amp by that, but I'm not going to test it out. So very secure, good connection. I love it. So I'm going to go ahead and do it to all of these before I go ahead and put them in the car. So stay tuned for that. Alright, so try your best to stay with me on this one. This is going to be a little confusing. Alright. This harness goes from the head unit. This is the head unit right here. And this harness goes into the head unit. And I purchased a Metra harness adapter. So that way you don't have to cut into your stock harness at all. Like, you don't want to do that. So, I honestly don't even know if I need this one. I may just use this, tape all that off. I removed every wire that isn't applicable to what I'm doing. There's like a steering wheel, speaker wires. I'm not using the speaker wires here because I am going to run RCAs from the head unit to the amps. And then the amps will supply the power to the speakers. So these wires are only if you're not running amps. So I'm not running speakers. I mean, I'm not using the factory wiring. I don't have a steering wheel. Yeah, I don't have a rear camera. It's a bunch of stuff that just doesn't apply to what I'm doing. And for the other ones, it's very easy. They're written on the wire or there's a label. This one says it's a accessory ignition positive, and on the Metra harness it also says positive, so I put it there. This is your constant power. I connected that to the Metra. I'm gonna solder all these up, and this is the illumination, and the colors match up, but they don't always match up is what I've read online. And there's also I don't know if I'm doing this part correct yet or not, but this is the remote wire. So the head unit will send the power to the amps, like basically just like an on-off switch. It's like it'll turn on, but the main power is coming from the yeah, picture it that way. Picture your power source being in the battery, but the on-off switch is the head unit. So as you turn that on or off, I believe that's how the amp turns on and off, and it's allowed to use that power, if that makes sense. So the remote wire, since I am running 2 amps, it looks like I have to split this wire. Yeah, I have to split this wire between both of the amps so that way it turns them on at the same time. That's what it looks like from some of the diagrams I've been looking at. I'm going to give it a shot. Hopefully that works okay. And there's also a chassis ground for the specific head unit I'm using. I'm just gonna run this through the middle of the center console, and I'm just gonna ground it somewhere. There's like many points at where I can ground it, so that should be pretty easy. And I'm basically running all these wires like, well, these two are gonna sit to the harness inside the dash. Like these, this white one here and this one, it connects to your factory harness. This takes those, and there's gonna be 2 wires. I'm running back the remote wire and the ground wire. That should be all that I should be running back from the head unit. So I should be able to go ahead and get the head unit installed if I can solder up these wires quick enough. So let's go ahead and get started on that. Alright, so I'm pretty much done soldering everything. Everything that I am not using, I ended up using electrical tape to tape it off, and then I went over it with heat shrink just to be safe. And everything else is solder up, so I can go ahead and hook it up to the car, and I can hook the harness up to the head unit, and I can pretty much get the head unit installed minus the RCA. So after I get that figured out, I just got to check my wiring diagram for that, and I will post the wiring diagram I'm using as far as the RCAs, so that way I can go and get those going. Here we go. I have to adjust my settings, but yeah, it's been a crazy day, man. Getting a lot done though. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this in, or go ahead and check out the RCA, see if that's easy. If that is, then I can go ahead and install the head unit, then I can focus on the back end wiring. Alright, so getting ready to install the head unit. I will be taking this back out because I need another set of RCAs, or just one for the sub. I'll go in detail once I do all that. Right now I'm just trying to get this in to see if the wiring I have set up so far is accurate, and I think I may be able to run power to one set of the speakers, like the fronts, because so I found a diagram online. I don't know how accurate it is. It's saying basically I could run the RCAs from just like basically the fronts. I can run those to like both set of speakers. The same audio will be outputted to both. So the only issue I see with that is I probably won't be able to split up the audio between the front and the rear, like you know how you can balance it in the car. I'm not too concerned with that, but if it does bother me, I could just add another set of RCAs, and I can give me that independency between each channel. But as for now, I think I'm gonna try it like this. So you basically split it. But my problem is I need a male connection at the end of these. I bought a female to female because, here, I'll show you. The original RCA is a male. This plugs into the head unit. Both of them. And then the other end is also a male. Right here. And then I got a female to female. Right here. Right here. And that allows me to plug in this splitter. Now if I would have just got a splitter that had a female at this end, then I could just go directly to the male and bypass this. And if these were males instead of females, I think I got it backwards when I ordered it. I need these to be male so they can plug into my amplifier. Amplifier here, but I have female right now, so I can't plug it in. But I can skip that for now if I want, and just run one set of speakers by going directly in, and I'll do this part later so that way I can add the rear end. I hope that makes sense. But anyways, about to get ready to install it. I have the harness in. I already showed you guys how I did it, what I taped off and whatnot. So this is gonna plug into the factory harness. This is the Metro harness right here. Solder up to the harness that came with the head unit. And then, yeah, basically. And I already plugged the other part in to the car. This literally has nothing, it has no use, it looks like. I could be wrong, I have to double check. But I just have that in there. It's a little dark. This other one's gonna plug in here. I don't remember what this is. This is the antenna. So I'm gonna plug all that in, run the RCA and everything through the center console, right to the rear. And that's all I have planned so far. I don't even know how I'm gonna mount this amp. I don't have the power battery or power wire connected to the battery yet. don't have this plugged in yet. I don't want a power wire this big center of the car connected to the battery without being hooked up to something. Oh yeah, that's looking good. I don't have it screwed in or anything. I don't know how the hell it screws in, to be honest, but it's gonna sit in there kind of like this. Running low on battery life with the camera, so I'm gonna try to be short and sweet with this. I have the wires ran under this guy, trying to figure out how this sits in there, and I'm gonna throw some screws in for now and basically put it in. I have it ran under this little plastic bar right there, and it's just gonna run up the center console. It's kind of hard to do this without extra set of hands, so basically that's how it's going to sit for now. I will get a better view of this for you guys, I promise. In part 3, there's gonna be a part 3 and hopefully not a part 4, but that's where I'm at right now. So 1 sec. All right, figured it out. So I had to take this white box. I don't know what this is. It's like some kind of control module for like maybe airbags and also I really don't know. Take the white box out so that way you can access these screws. I was trying to put it here. I was like, how does that sit there and here? It made no sense. It actually sits behind it. I forgot how the factory one sat, so I had to figure it out. So it sits like that. Then this just goes in over the top of it. So I'm going to get some screws in there. I don't know where the hell my screws are, so I'm just going to go find some. Throw some screws in. Or at least, yeah, throw some screws in. Try to get that white box back in. It's such a satisfying thing to see. Finally got the thing in the car. Although it's gonna have to come out like once or twice more. RCA here. I'm gonna try using this as a ground, or maybe this, I don't know, whichever's easier. And the RCA and stuff, I'm just gonna throw it over the top of this, under the center console, then throw it over the top. And then hopefully that should give me what I'm looking for now. It's the new NRG wheel. I gotta put my door panel back on. So I'm just gonna basically start throwing the car back together, get it ready to drive home, because I think my coworker's just about ready to go. So I can do that. I'm pretty tired, so I think this is a good stopping point. If I have time, I'm gonna go ahead and throw the power wire on the amp there, and then on the battery, and then hook up the power to the amp. Do the remote turn on, hook up the RCA, so that I could honestly ride home with the music if I do this today. And I could do the other speakers, but I don't even know how to tweak the amp to get the right settings and stuff. So yeah, we're just gonna get it ready to go home, and then if I can do that, then that's a plus.